Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Shakur Stevenson said for low interest as Gervonta Davis advised not to fight him. Shakur Stevenson's campaign in the lightweight division has been disappointing, to say the least. His performance against Edwin de los Santos was labeled as a snooze fest. And rightly so. Stevenson threw only 209 punches in that fight and landed at 65. Nonetheless, to wash away the disappointment of that night, he hoped to put on an entertaining performance against Artem Harutyunyan in his first WBC lightweight title defense this year. Not true, turning out to be such a bore that his hometown crowd started booing him. On top of that, a lot of fans were seen leaving the venue midway through the fight. There is no doubt about the talent that Stevenson possesses. He is an early defensive boxer, but fans can be quite brutal towards a boxer who is gun-shy. Most fans pay hard-earned money to see fighters let their hands go during a fight, but Stevenson seems to be having a problem doing exactly that. On the other hand, Stevenson's compatriot in the lightweight division, Gervonta Davis, is a knockout artist. Tank with 28 knockout wins in 30 fights, he unleashes punches backed with devastating power once he has figured his opponents out. Some would say the two opposing styles would make for a great matchup. However, for rising featherweight sensation Bruce Carrington Jr., the 3-Division 1 champion needs to up his game before he gets into the ring against the 29-year-old knockout artist. Is Shakur Stevenson vs Gervonta Davis financially lucrative? When Carrington sat down with Yuriorkis J. Smooth of Mill City Boxing, J. Smooth asked Shushu if the contest between the two fighters had the potential to become a huge pay-per-view attraction. The 27-year-old Brownsville, Brooklyn native replied with responding no. Bruce Carrington, who has been a sparring partner of Gervonta Davis for a few years now, largely held Stevenson to be the reason why the fans of the Sweet Saints would not tune in for his fight. According to him, Stevenson has to come out of his defensive shell and let his hands go in his upcoming performances to warrant a fight with Gervonta Davis. Right now, no. I feel because these guys are young, they have the time to build it up, and because how the audience has been taking Shakur's last performance, the interest of it is low. For it to be big again, Shakur has to have exciting performances, at least back-to-back performances, Carrington said. In his last fight against Artem Harutyunyan, Shakur Stevenson admitted that there was some work to be done in training to improve his performance. During the in-ring interview after the win, he said he needed to work on cutting the distance in the ring to inflict damage on his opponent. I have to cut the ring a little more because my opponent was going one way and then the other, so I have to go back to the gym and work on cutting the ring, Stevenson said. It seems that to get the best out of Stevenson, a defensive counter-puncher, he needs an opponent who is willing to throw punches and make him come out of his shell. Although Davis looks like an ideal candidate for that job, Stevenson needs to be signed with a promotional first. Moreover, he needs to deliver some excitement in his upcoming fights for Davis to consider him a significant pay-per-view draw. As things stand, the words are compounding for Shakur, as the two big promoters have already dropped out of the race to sign him. Top Rank and Golden Boy promotions are a no-go. Shakur Stevenson is currently a free agent. Just recently, he turned down a fresh $18 million 6-fight contract from his previous employer, Top Rank. The company's head Bob Arum had no hard feelings toward him, stating that he was entitled to look for a better deal elsewhere. He will not be looking to increase the stakes of the offer, and thus he pursued ends. Reportedly, Shakur's team also had meetings with the Golden Boy Promotions, but it didn't materialize into an exciting fight contract. Dropping out of the race to sign him, Oscar de la Hoya comment: "Shakur Stevenson, you are a free agent, you are a great fighter and a great talent, but not for me. I believe that when somebody says you are not fighting for the public, I cannot promote." Now Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing seems to be in the pole position to sign him. The British promoter believes he could do wonders with Stevenson and alleged that his previous promoter Bob Arum had done an awful job promoting him. Who do you think Shakur Stevenson should fight next? Will Matchroom Boxing eventually sign Shakur Stevenson for a Gervonta Davis fight? Let us know in the comment section below. Gervonta Davis camp targets Shakur Stevenson for a November bout. Gervonta Davis' assistant coach Kenny Ellis has expressed interest in WBC lightweight champ Shakur Stevenson being Tank's next opponent in November. The likely idea behind WBA lightweight champ Gervonta Davis fighting Shakur now is to make the match before the New Jersey native's popularity drops any lower than it always has. It's a race against time. If Tank's team is unsure whether Shakur can turn things around after consecutive poor performances against Artem Arutunian and Edwin De Los Santos, it's important that they find him now before his value plummets further. Shakur was booed out of the T-Mobile Arena last November in his fight against De Los Santos, and in his hometown early this month in his match against Arutunian. That was supposed to be a showcase fight for Shakur, but it was a real struggle and he bored his hometown fans. If Gervonta does not fight Shakur now, he will be worthless to him after 1 or 2 or 3 more fights because the boxing public will view him as unwatchable and not worth spending their money on for pay-per-view. Shakur will be not good fighter to Tank in 2 or 3 more fights because he will have been booed out of every venue. Top trainer Robert Garcia has no doubt on Gervonta Davis Shakur Stevenson winner, unbeatable. Boxing's lightweight division has 3 champions, all believing they are the man to beat at 135. However, the 2 fighters most pundits pick as the best in the divisions are WBC champ Shakur Stevenson and WBA belt holder Gervonta "Tank" Davis. The two have widely contrasting styles, with Shakur being a master defensive boxer, whilst Gervonta carries ferocious one-punch knockout power. In his last outing, Stevenson once again shoved his tail end and coasted to a wide unanimous decision against Artem Arutunian. But for the second fight in a row, the crowd showed their displeasure with the action at the final bell. Gervonta, on the other hand, delivered exactly what he said he would, and knocked out game Frank Martin in the 8th round with an uppercut followed by a vicious left hand. Speaking to social media, renowned coach Robert Garcia, who currently trains the pound-for-pound star GZ Rodriguez, among others, believes Davis is unbeatable at lightweight. He is unbelievable, man. I think Gervonta at this point is unbeatable at the lightweight division against any other world champions. I think he is the top guy right now in that division. He had a great performance, he has the timing, power, accuracy, everything is great, man. He is a perfect fighter right now, the coach said. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.